If I told you there's a dog so rare, but so rare, that many people believe it shouldn't even exist, would you believe me? I'm talking about a living legend, a powerful animal with an imposing appearance, loyal behavior, and a coat color that defies everything we thought we knew about the breed. But before I tell you about this breed, don't forget to hit the like button and share our channel. So let's get started. Yes, I'm talking about the Black Dogo Argentino. And if you've never heard of it, get ready, because what I'm about to reveal will make you question everything you thought you knew about guard dogs, pure bloodlines, and even canine prejudice. Stick with me until the end, because this animal's story involves controversy, genetics, challenges of acceptance, and even illegal hunting. And in the middle of all that, a visual detail that makes it absolutely hypnotizing. Before anything else, let me explain something quickly. The original Dogo Argentino was created in Argentina in the 1920s, designed by two brothers, Antonio and Agustin Norris Martinez. Their idea was to create the perfect dog for hunting large game, like wilds, boars and pumas, which attacked farms in the countryside. But there was a catch. The official breed standard always demanded that the dogo be completely white. And it wasn't just for looks, it was strategy. During hunts, the white coat made it easier for hunters to spot their dogs among the thick vegetation, distinguish them from wild animals, and avoid accidents. But what if a black puppy was born? Guess what? It was discarded. Just like that. And that's when you start to realize the drama. For years, black dogos were rejected, ignored, considered genetic mistakes. But nature is stubborn. And every now and then, a black specimen would appear with the same physical and behavioral traits as the white ones, but with that dark, shiny coat that looks like wet velvet. And that's when small groups of breeders began to ask themselves, doesn't this dog deserve to exist? Does color really define value? And beyond that, wouldn't black even have advantages in certain roles, like a night guard dog, where natural camouflage could be a major asset? And for those thinking this is just a story about appearance, you couldn't be more wrong. In 2018, a study published by the University of Cordoba analyzed 73 Dogo Argentino puppies and confirmed that the genetic mutation responsible for the black coat occurs in a recessive but persistent form in about 4.1% of pure bloodlines. In other words, it's no accident. It's part of the breed's DNA, a hidden detail that occasionally decides to show up. And when it does, man, what a sight. I still remember the first time I saw a black dogo. That muscular frame, the confident posture, those piercing eyes, and that black coat that seemed to absorb the light around it. Honestly, it gives me chills just thinking about it. Now, if you're wondering, but if the black dogo is that rare, where do these dogs live? Who breeds them? How can you get one? Well, the answer's a little bitter. Most of these dogs end up being sold illegally, outside of official registries. Because according to international associations, any dogo outside the white standard is automatically disqualified and can't receive pedigree papers. This means the black specimens circulate in the underground world of breeders, sold among die-hard fans of the breed or kept as private guard dogs, away from official eyes. Some of them are even worth more than the whites, precisely because of their rarity and exclusivity. And here's something few people stop to consider. For years, black dogos were treated as freaks, rejected at birth, and often euthanized. But curiously, they have the exact same temperament as the white ones. Courageous, balanced, extremely loyal to their families, and perfectly territorial. No behavioral differences were identified in comparative studies. In fact, many claim that, because they've lived away from the spotlight, black dogos have become more stable, less reactive, and even more resilient. Coincidence? Or did exclusion forge emotionally tougher dogs? Now, Let me ask you something. Would you buy a dog considered illegal just because of its color? Sounds simple, but it isn't. Because behind that lies an ethical debate. On one side, associations try to maintain breed purity, preserve its original history, and prevent it from losing its identity. On the other, passionate dog lovers argue that every healthy dog, regardless of color, deserves respect, legal recognition, and protection. And you know what the truth is? Neither side is completely right, nor completely wrong. Because deep down, the Black Dogo challenges not just dog breeding rules, but our own ideas of acceptance. There was a case I'll never forget. A breeder in Minas Gerais, known for having one of the best Dogo bloodlines in Brazil, once let a black puppy escape death and raised it in secret. The dog grew up, became a beast of strength, completely obedient, and ended up protecting the farm during a nighttime invasion attempt. The attackers never even saw where the strike came from. They just felt the weight and the bite. The story spread, and demand for the Black Dogo exploded. I myself had to check if it was a legend or real, and it wasn't just a tall tale. It actually happened. And if you're curious to know how to identify a legitimate Black Dogo, pay attention. It keeps all the same muscle proportions and bone structure as the white Dogo. Broad head, deep chest, longer hind legs, a slightly raised muzzle, and that gaze that feels like it pierces through you. The only difference is in the coat, which needs to be uniform black with no white markings, and in the eyes, which tend to be darker shades. And here's the most interesting part. Unlike other black-coated breeds, the Dogo's coat has a natural shine, almost like it's been waxed. Now, before I forget, let me share a chilling curiosity. In some rural communities in Argentina, there's an old belief that Black Dogos are spiritual protectors, used to ward off evil and bad spirits. Many believe that because of their rarity and dark appearance, they carry ancient energy. I don't know if it's true, but I've seen with my own eyes how their presence commands respect, even from people who aren't afraid of dogs. And if you found this story incredible so far, imagine knowing that some independent breeder groups are now secretly trying to establish a new alternative standard for the breed. Recognizing the Black Dogo as legitimate, it's controversial, it's risky, but the movement is happening. And who knows, maybe in a few years these dogs will no longer be underground and will finally get the recognition they deserve. Because in the end, more important than color is the essence. If you're into this kind of rare, offbeat, and history-packed content, hit the like button, because that shows me it's worth bringing you more of these hidden curiosities from the pet world. And if you know someone who loves dogs, especially Dogos, send them this video, because chances are they've never heard of the Black Dogo Argentino. And now, tell me in the comments, would you have the courage to raise one? Meus amigos peludos. Thanks you for sticking with us until the end. And don't forget to like and share. See you in the next.